Last week, we took a look at the best song from every single Mega Man game, and since that video wasn't controversial enough, I thought, why not make a video on the worst song from every Mega Man game 1 through 11? So, prepare your ears. Or something, I don't know. Mega Man 1 is of course the first Mega Man game ever created, and because of that, its soundtrack is generally not considered to be the best. In the last video, I even said it was one of the weaker soundtracks, but I don't think I explained myself very well because I didn't at all mean to say that it was a bad soundtrack, because it's not bad at all. When compared to other NES games, this soundtrack is still a masterpiece, and the only reason I didn't give it as much credit as it deserves in the last video is simply because the Mega Man series improved upon this soundtrack in the later entries. But I did want to make clear before we get into things that I do love Mega Man 1's soundtrack. It's amazing. I would give it a solid 9.5 out of 10 overall. But despite being great, there still has to be at least one track in this game that's the absolute worst, since, you know, that's how the worst works. You guys understand the definition of worst, right? So starting things off, let's take a look at Mega Man 1's beautiful and iconic title theme. I mean, this song just speaks for itself. I don't even know what else to say. The stage select theme, on the other hand, is relatively simple, but it does its job well, and I don't think it would be fair to call this one the worst, even if it is probably the least listened to song in this game. Cutman's theme, on the other hand, is a banger, as we all know. It's not my favorite song from this game, but it's certainly catchy and fits the feel of the level extremely well. I guess if I don't like anything about this song, it would be the intro, but I mean, I don't want to start splitting hairs, guys. I mean, come on. Especially when bunnies are one of my favorite animals. Gutsman's theme is also amazing and one I hold very close to my heart. I know a lot of people don't enjoy this one for some reason, but a lot of people are dumb and smelly. Those people, of course, being people who are not subscribed to Tooterp, since we all know Tooterp subscribers are super intelligent and smell great. The only real problem with this song is that when you're playing in the beginning portion of this level, you have to deal with those platform sound effects, but I do legitimately enjoy those sound effects, so it does not bother me at all. Plus, we aren't judging these songs by the sounds that happen to occur in the levels they're in, we're judging them based off the song and the song only, for Pete's sake. And because of that, Gutsman's theme is and forever will be one of the best in Mega Man 1, but if you want to see the actual best song from Mega Man 1, I did make a separate video on that. Fireman's theme is also great and incredibly catchy. Again, I guess my only complaint would be the first like half a second in the intro, but these intros are basically just a stylistic choice that occurs throughout the entire soundtrack, so that wouldn't really make much sense to complain about, especially when I don't even dislike it all that much. I guess this track is also a bit short when compared to a lot of the other songs in this game, but like I said in my video on the best Mega Man X song from every game, if my only complaint is that the song is too short, the song itself must be a banger. Bomb Man's theme, on the other hand, is also pretty decent. It's a very relaxing melody, which is a bit ironic considering this is Bomb Man's theme, but that's too funny to be upset about. On top of being relaxing, the song is also incredibly catchy and somehow feels very fitting for the level. Plus, the part that goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo is really good and physically stops me from calling this song the worst. Iceman's theme is a little bit worse than what we've covered so far, especially as far as the intro goes, but it's certainly not bad. Plus, once the intro part finishes, it becomes extremely catchy. The only problem is that the intro is a little over half the length of the entire song, which isn't really doing it any favors, but I'm not going to call this one the worst. That would be very cold-hearted of me. Get it? Because Iceman is cold? Oil Man and Time Man's theme do not exist, and I've never heard them before, so they're disqualified. The actual boss battle theme is one I neglected to talk about in my last video just for time's sake, but it's honestly not that bad. Sure, I wouldn't queue this one up at a party anytime soon, but it's incredibly fitting for being a boss battle theme, and it's far from being bad. Moving on to the Wily Castle though, we all know I love this theme a lot, so it's obviously not going to be the worst, but I am going to keep talking about it for a little bit longer just to give the song a chance to play in the background, since I do really enjoy it, and I do want it to keep playing in the background so you guys can... Alright, that's enough. Wily 2, on the other hand, is slightly worse, I would say, but it's certainly not bad. It makes me feel extremely determined to finally take on Dr. Wily and murder him once and for all. That's what's gonna happen once I get to Dr. Wily, right guys? The Wily boss fight theme is actually a completely different song from the normal boss fight theme, and this one does not disappoint at all. It really lets you know that the stakes are at an all-time high as you're battling face to face with the evil doctor. This obviously is not my favorite song ever, but the way this one sets a mood makes it impossible to call the worst. Plus, it is actually pretty good, so I don't plan on calling this one the worst anyway. The ending theme is also great, as we all already know, but it does just make me want to listen to Mega Man 2's title theme, which is way better. Obviously, that's not fair, since the game came out after this one and literally used this game's ending theme as a basis for the title theme, but I'm not calling this one the worst, so who cares? The worst song from Mega Man 1 is that horrible noise Dr. Wily's flying saucer makes. I mean, my goodness gracious, what the heck was Capcom thinking when they designed that sound, and why have they kept it for so many years? Oh, what? That doesn't count as a song, it's just a sound effect? Darn, maybe I'll have to make a video on the worst sound effect from every Mega Man game then. Joking aside, the real worst song from Mega Man 1 is a very controversial one, being Man's theme. I know a lot of people really enjoy this one and say it's one of their favorite songs from this game, but I don't. I actually don't enjoy this one at all. I could be biased because Man's stage is obviously one of the most frustrating in this game, but I honestly do not think I'm biased at all. I just think this song is not too great, especially since it literally copied Journey. That's gotta deduct some points off for creativity or something, right? Anyway, if you do like this song, that's totally fine. I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything, but I, for some reason, really do not like this one, and since this is my video, I'm going to officially declare Man's theme as the worst song from Mega Man 1. Mega Man 2, the official squeakquel to Mega Man 1, may have my favorite soundtrack in all of Mega Man. Hey, I said may, calm down there in the comment section. The title theme is a great representation of this though, as it takes one of the better songs from Mega Man 1 and transforms it into an even better masterpiece of a track. I chose that as the best song from this game in the last video, but it was probably the hardest choice in the entire series just because this game has so many amazing songs. Even the menu screen is one of the most iconic songs in the Mega Man franchise, and the stage select screen may be my favorite stage select theme in the entire NES. Hey, I said may, calm down in the comment section. Man's theme is one of the coolest songs of all time though, as it sets a perfect tone for what the level actually is. It's catchy, it's flashy, and it's fun to listen to, so this one obviously is not the worst. Man's theme is also one of my favorites. There's something so calming about this song that I'm not really able to put into words, but it makes me forget that I'm playing a water level in a platformer game, which is saying a lot. Granted, Mega Man water levels actually are not that bad at all compared to every other platforming series, but I hope you understand the point I was trying to make at least. Man's theme has the exact opposite tone, as it makes you want to hurry up and beat the level before you have an anxiety attack, yet it's also a catchy tune that I love to listen to. Plus, with this being a fire level containing one of the most notorious disappearing block sections in the entire franchise, I'd say this theme is super fitting. Though if we're being honest, this block puzzle is super easy. If you have trouble here, I did make a video on the hardest block puzzle from every Mega Man game though, which I would recommend you check out. Woodman's theme is one that's grown on me over the years. I used to groan whenever I heard it, but now I genuinely enjoy it and think it's one of the best songs in this game. I'm not sure why it took me over a decade to start enjoying this song, but I'm gonna assume no one else had that problem, so let's just move on. Airman's theme is one that I don't think gets enough love. Sure, it is a little bit noisy and less composed than some of the other songs, but it's still fun to listen to and super catchy. Plus, those weird sounds do almost sound airy, if that makes sense, but I could just be going insane. Man's theme is one that's either an absolute banger or frustratingly annoying depending on what mood I'm in. I have no idea why this happens, but if I'm in a bad mood for whatever reason, this song sounds awful and actively pisses me off. But if I'm not in a bad mood, this song is actually great and one of my favorites in this game, which is confusing, I know, but I'm not gonna call it the worst in this video since I'm in a good mood right now. Metal Man's theme is of course really good, and this one does not get enough love either. It's a little bit chaotic, I suppose, but I think that fits the chaos of this conveyor belt themed level, so I don't mind at all. In fact, I actually like this song. Man's theme is one of the best songs in the game and fits the theme for one of the hardest levels. I've played and beaten this game a million times, so none of the levels are hard to me anymore, but as a kid, there was something extra prestigious about this theme just because it was on such a challenging level. It felt as if you only got to hear it if you were a truly worthy Mega Man player, which you could only prove by completing this level. Obviously, that's ridiculous, but I like this song. The boss battle theme song is actually pretty decent too. The intro is super dramatic and lets you know stuff is about to go down, and once it kicks into gear, it's super catchy and enjoyable while still conveying the high stakes of your situation. Your situation, of course, being that you are fighting a boss. The weapon get theme is also pretty good, but as a speedrunner, I hate this song just because my time always quickly ticks down as I sit here waiting for Dr. Light to shut up. Obviously, this one is not the worst though, so let's just move on before the comment section gets angry at me. Wily's first theme is obviously one of the best songs of the entirety of the NES, and if you don't agree, then you might need to go schedule an appointment with your local neurologist. In the video I did on the best song from every Mega Man game, this was almost chosen as #1 best song, and if I made the video on another day, it might have actually won, which means this one is of course not going to be the worst. worst. The ending theme of this game is also beautiful and relaxing, and one that I would even say is underrated. It fits perfectly for the feeling of completing this game and defeating Wily once and for all for the second time, and pairing it with that pretty cutscene of Mega Man walking in a straight line for over a year is a great touch. Can we talk about that for a second though? Why has no one else pointed out that Mega Man walks in the same spots for over a year without going anywhere? Literally, we see all the seasons change, so we know it's been roughly a year, and the same town is still in the background, so he clearly hasn't made much progress with whatever journey he's on. But anyway, as you probably noticed, I skipped the second Wily theme because I think this one might be the worst. Now, objectively, I might have to say the Weapon Get theme is a little bit worse, but that's not really fair because that song serves its purpose well and does its job for the most part. This song, on the other hand, is a drastic dip in quality from the previous Wily theme. Now again, I am probably biased, I will admit, just because Wily 4 gives me tremendous PTSD, and this is obviously the song that plays in the background, but I don't even care at this point. I will say objectively, when compared to other NES soundtracks, this song is still pretty decent, and I would even give it a 7 out of 10 overall. But when compared to Mega Man 2's legendary soundtrack, this song to me just stands out as one that I do not enjoy. And because of that, I will of course have to say that the second Wily theme is the worst song from Mega Man 2. Mega Man 3 is what a lot of people would consider to be the best soundtrack in all of Mega Man, but I don't agree. This soundtrack is certainly amazing and a 10 out of 10 overall, but Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 8 have the best soundtracks, and I will not debate it. Okay, maybe Mega Man 7 has a pretty good soundtrack too, and Mega Man 4 and 9 and 10, but you get the idea. The theme song in this game is arguably just as iconic and recognizable as any song from Mega Man 2 though, and for good reason. It sets up the mood going into this game pretty well, and even makes you forget that the game removed the intro cutscene idea that Mega Man 2 came up with. Hopefully we'll see an intro cutscene in the next game, because I kinda like that idea. The stage select theme is also a banger. I know I said Mega Man 2 might have my favorite stage select theme on the NES, but that's because I forgot about this one. Sorry. Jumping right into things though, Gemini Man has one of the coolest songs in the entire game. It's not my favorite of course, but it's not even my favorite Robot Master theme, but it is undeniably cool and extremely fitting for this level. Unless you're talking about Gemini Man the movie, played by Will Smith, in which case that's horrible and a 0 out of 10 because I will get video copyrighted strike and my channel banned if I played it. Hard Man's theme is not one I particularly like, but it is undeniably catchy and fitting for the stage. I guess the intro bit is my least favorite part, which seems to be a common theme with Mega Man games, but I can't say the song is bad, though listening to it is hard, man, because it gives me PTSD from those stupid bees. Magnet Man stage is one that's grown on me over time. Again, I don't really like the intro all that much, but the rest of the song is great and gets stuck in my head whenever I do play this stage. Kinda like a magnet gets stuck to metal. Haha, get it? Because magnets are magnetic. Needle Man's theme is an undeniable banger, and I don't care what anyone else says. Sure, those roly, spiky jerks get on my nerves, but this music is what powers me through this stage and stops me from slamming my controller onto the ground in a fit of rage. Plus, we don't get a lot of Mega Man songs with this style of music, so it's a nice, refreshing track all around. Shadow Man's theme has pretty much the exact same style as Needle Man's theme, but this one is even better. I could listen to this on repeat every day for the rest of my life, and I probably wouldn't even start to go crazy until like week 2, which is saying a lot. Joking aside though, this is one of my favorite songs in Mega Man 3, so there's no way in heck you're gonna catch me calling this one bad, unless it's Opposite Day or something, but Opposite Day is stupid. I think we should tar and feather the Joker that came up with that thing. Top Man stage got some undeserved hate in my last video, but that's only because I was looking for the best song, and while this one is not the best, it's certainly not the worst. It's super catchy and gets stuck in my head all the time, and somehow it even feels like it fits the stage, though I don't really know why. Maybe it fits the enemies more than the stage itself, but whatever. Spark Man's theme is probably the most underrated song in this entire game, and I absolutely love it. I genuinely can't think of why this song does not get as much love as a lot of the other songs in this game, but it certainly gets love from me. Wait, that sounds weird. Please edit that out. Snake Man's theme is an absolute banger, and we all know this. I've never once heard of a human being disliking this theme, and I doubt it's going to change anytime soon. It's by far the most fitting theme of all time, which is extremely impressive considering that this is a level based off snakes. I don't know how Capcom did it, but they certainly did, so this will never be the worst song under any circumstances. The boss battle theme is also a lot more intimidating and scary than the boss battle theme from Mega Man 2, but I think that is a welcome change. It's also super catchy once it starts kicking into gear, and that's exactly what you need when you're trying to beat someone like Needle Man without getting hit. By the way, I'm working on a video for how to beat every Robot Master and how to beat every Robot Master Buster only, so if that's something you want to see, please like the video and comment down below, because if no one wants to see that, I'm not going to make it. It's a lot of work, guys. Not that I would have trouble with that or anything. The Weapon Get theme is also super triumphant triumphant and a major improvement over the one from Mega Man 2, so calling this one the worst probably breaks some kind of ordinance, so I won't even go there. Also, the password theme is a banger. It's a bit short, I guess, but I like it a lot, and if you don't like it, well, I actually don't care, because you can do whatever you want, I suppose. Moving on to the Wily Castle, we have one of the best Mega Man songs of all time with Wily 1. This one is arguably better than the one from Mega Man 2, but I won't go as far to say that it is, because this is another situation where I would change my mind depending on what mood I'm in. But regardless, this theme is a banger and one of the best in this game, so it's obviously not going to be the worst. Wily 2 is a little bit worse than that one, but still a banger overall, plus what it lacks in music notoriety, it makes up for with this deterministic theme and the motivation it gives you to keep pushing forward through Dr. Wily's castle. The Wily boss theme is also different from the normal boss theme in this game, just like in Mega Man 1, but I kind of prefer the original boss theme if I'm being completely honest. This one obviously isn't bad, and it does certainly sound like it's raising the stakes, so it can't be the worst. Don't worry, guys. Proto Man's theme is one of my favorite songs of all time, so obviously it's not going to be the worst. I could probably make an entire video essay about how cool this song is and how it reflects on Proto Man as a character, but I'll only do that if you guys comment down below saying you want that. And also, only if this video gets 1,000 likes, guys. I don't know if that's even possible, but if you want to see that video essay, you better like the video. Anyway, the ending theme itself is also really good, just like most ending themes in the Mega Man series, so there's no way this one is going to be the worst. Not even on opposite day, for those of you who are wondering. But the worst song from this game is unfortunately gotta be Wily 3. This song isn't bad by any means, but when you hear this right after the other two Wily themes, it's more than underwhelming. Obviously, it sets the tone well and does its job, but Mega Man 3's soundtrack is just too overpowered for this one to go up against. So I'm sorry, Wily 3, but you've gotta be by far the worst track from Mega Man 3. Mega Man 4 means it's time for more. Okay, that was stupid, I'm sorry. I commonly refer to Mega Man 4 as the most underrated Mega Man game of all time, other than Rockman and Forte, of course, and the soundtrack is honestly a big part of that. The title theme might not be as great or as iconic as Mega Man 2 or 3's, but it's still a masterpiece and makes my ears feel good. But not too good, that would be weird. The Stage Select song is also by far the best Stage Select song on the entire NES, and I know I already said that with both Mega Man 2 and 3, but that's only because I forgot about Mega Man's 4 Stage Select theme, so sorry. Let's jump right into the Robot Master themes though, starting with Pharaoh Man's theme. Normally I complain about the intros to songs, but this intro is perfect and all the other songs from this series should take note. The rest of the song is also amazingly catchy and fits the whole Pharaoh theme very well. I wouldn't say this is my favorite theme in this game, but maybe I would. The only way you could find out for sure is to watch my video on the best song from every Mega Man game. Ring Man's theme is amazing and I love it with all of my heart. The intro once again is not the best, but the way the rest of the song plays out makes you forget that there was even an intro to begin with. I also put this song in the background of a lot of my videos, so if you enjoy this song, you might also enjoy watching a lot of my other videos, like the one I made on the best song from every. Skullman's theme is also a banger, and if you can't tell by now, the sheer quality of Mega Man 4's soundtrack is a big reason to why it's overrated. Wait, did I say overrated? I meant to say underrated. Obviously, it's not overrated, guys. Come on. What am I doing? There's a huge lack of bad or even mediocre music in this game, so every song is going to be decent at the very least, but this one even stands out past that and enters the realm of masterpiece. I'm not sure it fits the whole Bone vibe going on here, but it's not as if it doesn't fit the whole Bone vibe going on here. Plus, I like the song a lot, so who cares? Hold Man's theme might be the worst out of all the Robot Master themes, but it is still a certified banger, which once again goes to show how great of this soundtrack is as a whole. I prefer the parts where it sounds like the Toads are singing the rest of the song, but Toads don't really sing, so I have no clue if any of you understand what I meant. Bright Man's stage is beautiful and has an intro that almost sounds like it belongs in the Battle Network series, and yes, I am saying that because it reminds me of a computer since I haven't played the Battle Network series, but if you want to see me start playing those games one day, please let me know in the comments. This song is beautiful though and one of my favorites of all time. It gives me similar vibes to Sparkman's theme from Mega Man 3, and since I like that theme so much, this one is obviously not going to be the worst. Dive Man's theme is super iconic and too catchy to be the worst. Sure, it's a little intense and maybe even a bit anxiety-inducing to what we're used to from water levels, but it's good enough to get away with that if you're asking me, which you are. Speaking of anxiety-inducing though, Drill Man's stage induces even larger quantities of anxiety. I still love this theme, but a lot of times my ears just go deaf from focusing too hard on the level itself. This one is still a banger though, and I honestly do not give it enough credit in the last video, so I apologize, Drill Man. Your theme is lovely. Dust Man's theme is also of course great. I love the ambience and I love how well it fits the stage. I wouldn't say it's as good as Skull Man's theme, for example, but it's still amazing and checks all the boxes needed to make a great song. The boss battle theme itself may be the most fitting boss battle theme we have ever had so far. It's not my favorite as far as how it sounds, but when compared compared to the other boss battle themes, this one to me sounds the most like a legitimate boss battle theme. Like you're really battling bosses when listening to this one. Moving on to the castle stages, we're about to be bombarded with some amazing tunes, so prepare your ears. Cossack Stage 1 is the perfect start to this, because while I wouldn't call it my favorite castle theme in this game, it is still a 10 out of 10 and really makes you feel like you're in the final stretch of the game. And you are, so good job Cossack 1. Cossack Stage 2 is an even more beautiful tune that once again makes you feel determined to continue trekking forward. I'm not sure what compelled Capcom to make the music this beautiful for a Mega Man game, but I suppose at this point it's just par for the course. Once we get to Wily 1, things do tone down a good bit, but the overall quality is still undeniably there. I'd say this is the worst of the 3 castle themes we've heard so far, but like this one is still clearly amazing, so that really says more about the game's soundtrack than this individual song. Wily Fortress 2 brings things right back to an 11 out of 10 though with this amazing track. The intro does kind of make it sound more like a boss battle, but as it eases into the main tune, you're basically in pure bliss as you take on the stage. Also, I know I'm moving a bit quickly for these castle themes, but there's no way any of you thought these would be the worst, right? I mean, they're far too good. You better not think these were the worst, or else I'll be extremely angry at you until the end of time. Unless you're subscribed, of course. I love all of my subscribers. The Wily battle theme is honestly a little bit worse than the normal boss battle theme in my opinion, but it's far too fitting and intense to call bad in any capacity, so I'm not gonna. In fact, I'm gonna call it pretty decent. The ending theme, however, while great, may be the weakest ending theme we've heard so far, but that's just saying more about our previous ending themes than this one, because this one is still great for the most part. But one of these songs has to be the worst, right? I mean, I've said every song in this game. Which one was I lying about enjoying? Well, none of them, because I actually skipped the password theme, which unfortunately is the worst. Generally, I try to avoid choosing the menu themes as the worst song, just because they aren't meant to be as spectacular as the other ones, so it doesn't feel fair comparing them directly, but I'm gonna be real, guys. I hate this song. It's not often that I actively dislike a Mega Man song, but this one might be the first one I legitimately do not like. I guess it does its job of presenting a password theme, but to me it doesn't fit the vibe at all, and it's mostly just anxiety inducing. And since my body induces more than enough anxiety on its own, I'm gonna have to declare this password theme as the worst song from Mega Man 4. Mega Man 5 may be infamous for its poorly designed weapons, but are the songs just as bad? Well, no, I'll go ahead and spoil that for you, but one of these tracks has to be the worst, so let's get started on our investigation. The title theme is obviously not the worst. In fact, I'd say this might be the most underrated Mega Man title theme in the entire series. It's not as good in my opinion as Mega Man 2's theme, for example, but this one is absolutely amazing, and it is even a bit emotional, which is extra fitting since the story of this game is that Mega Man's brother, Proto Man, has turned evil and started taking over the world, but I know most people don't pay attention to the story in platformer games, so let's just move on. The stage select theme is also pretty decent, but it's not as good as Mega Man 4's, sadly. What is as good as Mega Man 4's, though, is the password theme, which is actually way better. Mega Man 4, I know you came out before this game was even in development, but you really should take notes, because this is how a password theme like this is supposed to sound, you dang hooligan. Moving on to the Robot Master themes, though, let's start with Crystal Man's theme. This is another track that is just super cool all around, more so than it is a banger, but it is of course fitting to the stage, so it's perfect for what it's meant to be. I wouldn't say this is as cool as Flash Man's theme, which has the same vibe, but I would say it is at least on par with Gemini Man's theme, or maybe even better, unless you mean Gemini Man played by Will Smith. And Gravity Man's theme is also fairly decent, but it's not my favorite. It's certainly fitting for what the stage is, as well as catchy, but it's just not absolute banger material. It's far from the worst though, so you Gravity Man fans can relax in the comment section. I like Gravity Man and his theme too, alright? Calm down. Gyro Man's theme is also pretty decent, but it reeks of auto-scroller. And I'm not talking about the auto-scroller section of this stage, I just mean this song sounds like it would be on a stage with an auto-scroller, and lo and behold, it just so happens to be. I still enjoy this one for the most part, but it just feels weird to me for some reason. It's not the worst though. Napalm Man's theme is actually one of my favorite Robot Master themes in this game, which is a big shame considering this stage got the game banned in Vietnam. This song is super catchy though, and fits the level super well, so there really isn't anything to complain about with old Napalm Man's theme. Star Man's theme may be the most fitting theme in this entire game, because as soon as you hear it, you know you're in space. I've never been to space in real life, but I imagine if I ever do, it'll sound something like this. Plus, this song is super catchy, and I love how calm and relaxing it is for the most part. Stone Man's theme is also surprisingly fitting and feels stony, rocky, bouldery. bricked up? I don't know how to describe it, but this one does fit the level pretty well, and it's catchy. Wave Man's theme fits the idea of Wave Man's level more than the actual level itself, if that makes sense. Like, if I played this and told you it was the theme for a guy called Wave Man, you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But when playing the actual level, it somehow feels less fitting than it should be. I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'll stop, but it doesn't really matter because this song is pretty good anyway. Charge Man's theme is also great. I know me and Charge Man have a lot of beef, but I've gotta say, the man can make a good theme song. It's not my favorite or anything, and it's honestly not crazy good, but I do enjoy it and think it's fairly catchy. The boss battle theme is also pretty good. It might honestly be my least favorite boss battle theme so far, just because it sounds kind of weird, but I still like it, and I would give it a 7.6 out of 10. It's undeniably epic though, and it feels a little too grandiose for fighting bosses like Gravity Man and Starman. Like, it makes me feel as though I'm in some kind of ancient play or opera, but again, I know I sound crazy, so let's just move on. The weapon get theme is obviously iconic, but we can't allow this one to play for too long, or else LL Fried Rice will grow too powerful once again. Comment down below if you know what I'm referring to, guys. Moving on to Proto Man's Castle though, this theme is amazing and I love it. It is a bit annoying that there's only one theme for every single level in this castle, but since this song is as good as it is, I guess I don't mind. I guess. The Dr. Wily Castle also has only one theme, but this one is a certified banger, so I certainly do not mind this one being in every level, and there's no guessing involved. This even sounds pretty similar to the Mega Man 4 Wily Castle theme, which is great considering those are some of my favorite Mega Man tracks of all time. The actual Wily battle theme is also amazing. This is much better than the regular boss battle theme, and it really kicks things up to an 11 as far as intensity goes. It really makes you feel like you're finally about to take down Dr. Wily once and for all for the 5th time. And once you beat him, the ending theme in this game is also pretty good. It's not the best song in this game, obviously, but it's certainly good. Or maybe it is the best song. There's only one way to find out for sure. But you don't care about the best song from this game. This is literally a video on the worst song from every Mega Man game. So which song is the worst? Well, that would have to be the Wily Chase theme. Some of you might not count this as a song, but it is literally a track in Mega Man 5's OST, so some of you guys are wrong. I'm sure you can already tell why this song is the worst, and to be fair, it does do its job, I guess, but it just doesn't sound good, and sounding good is a pretty big factor for whether or not I enjoy a song personally, so on account of this song not sounding good, I'm gonna say the Wily Chase theme is the worst song from Mega Man 5. Mega Man 6 is the final Mega Man game to ever release on the NES, which is why I'd consider this one to be the most polished overall. But does its soundtrack hold up to that reputation? Well, I'm not going to answer that directly, obviously, so let's find out. The title theme is definitely pretty decent, but I will say this one to me is a little bit weaker than the title themes we've heard so far. I still thoroughly enjoy it, but it's no Mega Man 1's title theme, I'll tell you that. The stage select theme is also the best stage select theme on the NES. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, it's still Mega Man 4's, but this one is certainly good and a close second. Moving on to the RoboMasters though, let's start with Blizzard Man's theme. This one is a banger and one of my favorites in this game just because of how relaxing it is, which of course is super fitting for a snow level as well. It's also super catchy and I love how drawn out a lot of the notes are, and that's something that can be annoying sometimes I guess, but in this case it really does sound good. Centaur Man's theme is almost a lullaby at first, but it eventually evolves into something straight up relaxing. It's a little too relaxing if you ask me, but it almost puts me to sleep, and I have insomnia, so I do appreciate the effort, Centaur Man, thank you. Flame Man's theme is once again relaxing at first, but once this gets going, it becomes a lot more upbeat. This is another one I enjoy a good bit, even though it's not my favorite. It's super fitting for the level, which is going to be a common trend in Mega Man 6, but it's also super catchy and makes you want to play this stage over and over, which you actually are able to do in this game if you really want. Nightman's theme is amazing and one of my favorites of all time. Yes, I am madly in love with Nightman, so maybe I'm biased, but I do not care in the slightest. This theme is amazing and I will not be acknowledging any arguments against it down in the comment section, so don't even try. Plantman's theme is also pretty good, which I hate to say. When you're dying over and over on this level, the song really starts to dig into your skin and down into your soul itself, but when you're playing great on this stage, it just sounds like pleasant background music that fits the vibe of the level. I still don't understand why this is the case, but it undeniably is the case, so I'm not gonna just ignore it. Tomahawk Man's theme is a certified banger though, and I don't know why Capcom went so hard with this track. It fits the old Western vibes that this stage has without being a boring old Western song, and again, I don't know how Capcom managed this, but I'm glad they did because this is one of my favorite RoboMaster theme songs in the entire series. Windman stage is pretty decent as well, and it is of course fitting for the stage. I'm not as big of a fan of Windman's theme as the other ones, but it's undeniable that this is a good tune, plus it's really catchy and you can't really go wrong with that. Yamato Man's theme is also good. It's definitely not going to be the worst, but I can't say I enjoy it as much as the others. Like, I do like it more than Windman's theme, but when compared to the other stages, this one just seems a little bit underwhelming. It's still great, don't get me wrong, but we all know Mega Man just has an OP OST in general, so any slight change in quality becomes drastic when compared to the other songs. The boss battle theme in this game, on the other hand, is amazing and maybe the best one in the entire series. I'm not sure if I would call it the best one, but it's certainly close. The lightning strikes in the intro also make it even more cinematic, so I give this one a 10 out of 10 as far as boss battle themes go. The password theme is also fairly decent. It's not as good as Mega Man 5's, I guess, but it's way better than Mega Man 4's, which I am thankful for. Haha, get it? I said I'm thankful for the fact that it's better than Mega Man 4's password theme. Get it, guys? I said 4 twice, which is funny because 4 is divisible by 2. Haha. Moving on to the X Castle, we have an absolute banger of a track. I don't think anyone dislikes this song, and if they do, I'm gonna have to have a word with them. Unless they're subscribed, of course, in which case the only words I'd be having with them is a nice conversation. I love this song a ton though, and I think it's so good that it even makes you forget that there's only one song for the entirety of the X Castle. The Wily Fortress is somehow even better though. It once again only has one song for the entirety of the castle, but again, it's good enough to get a pass. This song even sounds emotional, which is something we take for granted as Mega Man fans since the music has always done a great job of conveying whatever Capcom wants to convey as far as emotions go, but can we take a second to appreciate that this is an NES track? Alright, that was long enough, let's move on. The Wily battle theme is somehow even better though, and feels like one of the most epic tracks on the entire NES. It really makes you feel like you're finally taking down Dr. Wily once and for all for the 6th time. Joking aside, I do love this theme, and it is by far the best boss battle theme we have ever had in the entire series up to this point, which is extra appropriate for the last Mega Man game to release on the NES. Once you defeat Dr. Wily though, we are of course greeted with the ending theme, which is pretty decent, but the majority of this theme is just remixes of the other Robot Master themes mashed up. I do appreciate that, especially for it being the ending theme and everything, but it's not the best ending theme we've ever had if you're asking me, but I do like it, so don't get it twisted. But the worst song from this game is surprisingly got to be the Weapon Get theme. This song isn't objectively bad or anything, and it certainly does its job, but every other theme in this game is just significantly better in every way. Plus, this Weapon Get theme is way worse than the ones we got from Mega Man 4 and 5, so I do not feel bad about hating on this one. Again, it's not outright bad, so if you're a big fan of this song specifically, don't feel bad. There's nothing wrong with you as long as you're subscribed. But I do gotta say, the Weapon Get theme is the worst song from Mega Man 6. Now that I've directly insulted half of my viewers' childhoods, it's time to insult the other half of my viewers by continuing on into the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 titles. Wait, what am I doing? Mega Man 7 was the first classic Mega Man game to release on the Super Nintendo, and for once, the music was able to utilize twice as many bits as before. That's how that works, right guys? Surprisingly, the title theme actually isn't anything spectacular, and it may be one of the weakest title themes you've heard so far. I don't hate it, of course, but the prologue theme is actually a lot better. This one isn't a banger by any means, but this is usually what I think of when I think of Mega Man 7's theme song, and I'd say it's at least more iconic than its real theme song, which is weird. The intro stage, on the other hand, is certainly a banger, and one of my favorite songs from this game, as I'm sure most of my subscribers are able to tell from the amount of times I've used it in the background of my videos. Super Nintendo Mega Man games do tend to have some of the best songs used in their intro stage for some reason, but I'm not complaining at all. I think it's great that they all start their games off so strongly. Bass's theme is one I didn't bring up in my last video because it's not my favorite, but it is certainly great. I love the ambient sounds that come in a ton, and if it wasn't for my furious button mashing and general impatience, I would probably listen to this song in-game a whole lot more. The password theme obviously is not amazing, but it's far too iconic and memorable for me to call the worst. Plus, it's way better than Mega Man 4's password theme. The stage select theme, on the other hand, is actually a banger and maybe my actual favorite so far. It's hard to say if this one is straight up better than Mega Man 4's stage select, but it's certainly a close battle. Moving on to the Robot Masters though, let's start with Freeze Man's theme because it's super cool. Haha. Joking aside, I love how relaxing this theme is, and I also love how anyone and their mom can tell this song is on a nice level. This isn't my favorite Robot Master theme from this game, but it is undeniably a banger, so it is not going to be the worst. Junkman's theme, on the other hand, has no right to being as fire as it is. I love this song. It is probably my favorite out of the first 4 Robot Masters, and I usually joke about how I wouldn't listen to a certain song in a car ride or at a party or something, but I'm not gonna lie. I bet if I pulled up to the function and told the DJ to play this, everyone would go nuts in a good way. Burstman's theme honestly sounds very similar, but it's not as good. It's still amazing and I love every bit of it, but it's just ever so slightly worse than Junkman's theme, though it is more relaxing and fits the water theme of Burstman's level perfectly. Cloudman's theme is also amazing. I guess by technicality it's the weakest of the first 4 Robot Masters, but that really says a lot about the game's overall quality because I love this song too. It's extremely catchy and listening to this really makes you feel like you're in the clouds, and no, I don't mean high, you hooligans. Once you beat those first 4 bosses, you of course gotta stop by the Robot Museum, and this is one of my favorite themes of all time. Sure, it is just a remix of some old classic Mega Man themes, but it's an amazing remix and one that I wish more people would appreciate. Turbo Man's theme, on the other hand, is one I'm not the biggest fan of. It's still like an 8 out of 10 objectively, so clearly it's great and not gonna be the worst, but every other Robomaster theme is at least a 9.5 out of 10, so Turbo Man is just unlucky here. Slash Man's theme, as much as I hate to say it, is also a banger. I'm not the biggest fan of this stage or Slash Man in general, but this song is objectively amazing, and I'm not gonna call it the worst just because I have some beef with Slash Man. Plus, Slash Man isn't nearly as bad as Charge Man. Spring Man's theme is also surprisingly good. It's a little bit too upbeat and happy for my liking because it makes me feel like I'm in a carnival, but it's still amazing tune overall, and way better than Turbo Man's theme. Sorry, Turbo Man, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. But Slash Man's theme clearly takes the cake as the best Robomaster theme, not only because this is the most fitting stage out of all of them, but it's also just an amazing track overall with a banger intro and a banger melody that follows. I don't know why Capcom chose this stage to have a secret music Easter egg on, but it's honestly kind of criminal for them to do so considering how amazing this song is. The Ghosts and Goblins remix is still cool, and I do like Ghosts and Goblins, but like, compared to Mega Man music, this isn't all that great. The boss battle theme also isn't my favorite. It's still good and far from the worst boss battle theme we've heard so far, but I just don't like it all that much. 8.5 out of 10. Dr. Light's Lab is also pretty cool, but it feels a little bit high-pitched for my liking. Like, obviously it's not a bad theme song, but maybe if it was a few notes lower, I would like it a lot more. The Weapon Get theme also isn't that great. Again, it's not bad, but it's like, calm down, Weapon Get theme. I know I'm getting a weapon, it's not that serious. Calm down, relax. Moving on to the Wily Castle. You guys already know how I feel about the majority of these songs if you saw my last video, but I don't mind saying it again. These are some of the greatest Wily Castle themes of all time. This Wily 1 theme is literally the perfect intro for Mega Man starting to enter the Wily Castle to end Dr. Wily's wrath once and for all for the 7th time. The slow build-up really gets your nerves going, and once the tune gets in, you know Mega Man is ready to kick some robo butt. That wasn't funny. I don't know why I said that. Wily 2's theme is another 10 out of 10 banger that really emphasizes the feeling of going deeper into the evil castle. I guess the intro is a little bit worse than the intro from Wily 1's theme, but you guys remember what I said about splitting hairs, right? I don't want to do it. That's basically what I said. Wily 3, on the other hand, goes up to an 11 out of 10 and is probably my favorite Wily Castle theme in this game and maybe of all time. But I guess we won't know for sure until I do a video ranking every Wily Castle theme. In all seriousness though, this song is amazing and should be the biggest piece of motivation to actually beat Mega Man 7. I know a lot of people think this is one of the most difficult Wily Castles of all time, and while I disagree, this music alone should be enough to help you get through it. The final Wily stage is also another banger as well, meaning this may be the first time every single Wily theme was a minimum 10 out of 10, though Mega Man 5 and 6 do not count since they only had one theme per castle. Again, this song really makes you feel like things are coming to an end because, well, they are. This is the end of the game. But the Wily Machine theme really gets your nerves going, as you know it all comes down to this. It's not only a great and fitting boss battle theme, but it's also catchy, which is of course a big part of being a good song. But once you defeat the Wily Machine, you get another unique song with the final Wily battle theme. I wouldn't say this one is as good as the Mega Man 6 final battle Wily theme, but it's certainly still great. It brings your anxiety just high enough to be appropriate for taking on Dr. Wily's final form, at least if you ask me. I guess it is all subjective at the end of the day. But once you defeat the final Wily Machine, you're of course greeted with the ending theme, which is great. It's not my favorite theme, but it's still great, so I won't complain. But with every track in this game being so amazing, what could possibly be the worst? Well, the worst song from this game is one you may have never heard before, which is Otto's shop theme. If you didn't know, there is actually a bolt shop in this game that you can access by pressing select on the stage select screen, but there is no mention of this in the entire game at all whatsoever. So despite collecting bolts, I had no idea this was even a thing the first 100 times or so I played the game. And you know what? Honestly, I'm glad, because this song sucks. It is the only song in this game that is actively bad, and I'm already sick of hearing it, so I'm declaring Otto's shop theme as the worst song from Mega Man 7. Mega Man 8 is actually pretty great despite all the jokes I make about it on my channel, and its music is probably the best feature of this game as a whole. The title theme is a great representation of this because while it is a bit simple and short, it sounds amazing and is one of my favorite Mega Man title themes of all time. The stage select theme is also the best stage select theme we've ever heard so far. I'm sorry Mega Man 4, but there is no way you can compete with this one. It's just not fair. Dr. Light's Lab also sounds much better than it did in Mega Man 7. Obviously, this isn't the best song Mega Man 8 has to offer by any means, but it's very relaxing and makes it it feel like you're at home, which is very fitting for it being Mega Man, since Mega Man was made by Dr. This is basically Mega Man's home, right? Does Mega Man live here? Where does Mega Man live? The opening stage theme is also a banger. Again, it is common for Mega Man opening stage themes to be amazing, but this one is one of the songs that contributes to that reputation. It does get a bit worse whenever you go underwater, which is disappointing considering Mega Man is usually great with its underwater music, but it's still far from being bad. Moving on to the Robot Masters though, let's start with Frost Man. I love this theme song and think it is perfect for this ice level. Not only does it sound like an ice level, but it's also extremely catchy and one of my favorite video game songs of all time, which is a necessity since no one would be willing to put up with Jump Jump Slide Slide if it wasn't for this song. Clown Man's theme on the other hand, I can't say I'm a fan of. It's not bad, I guess, but I just don't like the circus vibe of this song. Obviously, I understand why it has a circus vibe, and it does a great job of actually fitting the level, but I don't enjoy listening to it in general. Same goes for Tengu Man's theme, unfortunately, at least on the PlayStation 1. It definitely fits the vibe of being in the air and even being an auto-scroller, but there's just something too happy about this one. There's nothing wrong with being happy, of course. In fact, I prefer being happy to any other emotion, but I just don't like this song all that much. It is far from the worst though, so don't get the wrong idea. The Sega Saturn version, on the other hand, is an absolute banger, which is another reason Capcom should have added the Sega Saturn version into the Legacy Collection, but I have a video complaining about that already, so let's just move on. Grenade Man's theme, on the other hand, is super epic and I love it. It doesn't really fit the level in my opinion, but when the song is as good as this, it doesn't really matter. This is an undeniable banger though, and I'm not just saying that because Grenade Man is a bomb. Duo's theme is also pretty decent, but it's a little bit too dramatic for my preference. It's still a good song and does its job well enough, I suppose, but this isn't one that's going on my old iPod Touch. Sword Man's theme, unfortunately, will not make that cut either, but I do prefer this one to Duo's theme. In the last video, I said this theme sounds like it came out of a Game Boy Advance more than it sounded like it came from a PlayStation 1, and I still agree. I'm not sure why I think that, but I feel like this song would be more fitting in like Wario Land 4 or something than Mega Man 8. Aquaman's theme, on the other hand, is a groovy masterpiece that must have been composed by Capcom's finest sound team. I love how relaxing this song is, especially since it's for a water level, which makes it more fitting, and this is one of the main reasons Mega Man 8 is so highly held for its soundtrack. Say what you will about Aquaman himself, but this song is super cool, and you know what? Aquaman is too. Yeah, I said it. I think Aquaman is cool. Unless you're talking about the DC Aquaman, in which case that guy can go kick rocks for all I care. Astro Man's theme is also super cool, but it's not on the same level as Aquaman's. In the last video, I didn't give it enough credit just because I was searching for the best song from every game, but I do honestly like this one a lot, and I think it is far from the worst. The stage itself, on the other hand, is a different story, but I did already make a video on that. Search Man's theme is super funky, and it's hard to put into words how I feel about it, but I do certainly enjoy it a lot, and I would give it a 9 out of 10 overall. I don't necessarily think it is super fitting for the level, but again, when a song is as good as this, it doesn't really matter. Cut Man's theme in this game is just a remix version of the one from Mega Man 1, and it is pretty good, but I'm not impressed. I won't lie. Woodman's theme is almost unrecognizable at first, on the other hand, but it's still pretty decent. I do prefer Mega Man 2's version, of course, but I think this remix is a lot better than Cutman's remix. The actual boss battle theme, on the other hand, is just okay. It's not bad by any means, but when compared to other Mega Man boss battle themes and Mega Man 8's soundtrack in general, this one just doesn't hold up as well. But it's still not the worst, so our search continues, man. The mini boss battle theme is honestly better in my opinion, and I wish this was just the regular boss battle theme. It's still not great, but like, it's better than what we just heard. The weapon get theme is much better than both of these though, and it sounds like it came out of an anime. Not the best weapon get theme we've ever heard, but it's still decent. But it's time to move on to the Wily Castle, and these songs certainly do not disappoint. I love the feel of Wily 1's theme, and it seems to go for a different approach than a lot of the other castle themes we've heard so far. I don't know a lot about music theory, so I won't elaborate, but I do know that I like this song a lot. Wily 2, on the other hand, is somehow even better and one of my favorite castle themes of all time. And I guess you could argue that it feels a little bit relaxing for a Wily Castle theme, but I think that argument is dumb, and my counterpoint is that the song slaps. So, sorry. Wily 3 does start to get a little worse in my opinion, but this one fits the vibe of a Wily Castle a lot more, so to that one hypothetical guy from a few seconds ago that was arguing with me, this is what happens if you get what you want, you jerk. And honestly, this song isn't bad by any means, it's just not a banger. Wily 4 is somewhere in between Wily 2 and 3 for how much I enjoy it. It's still not great, but it's super fitting for what it is, so I can't really get upset at it for that. Or I guess I could, but that would be dumb. Bass's battle theme is great though, and it's even a remix of the one from Mega Man 7. Not only is it catchy and epic, but it also has a sick bass line, which is funny because the Wily battle theme is completely insane. It's not bad at all, and it fits the fight for sure, but my goodness, this song is something else. I do like it for the most part though. Once you beat Dr. Wily, we're greeted with the ending theme, which is of course amazing, and I love it with all my heart. But if none of the themes I've covered are the worst, what is? What have I missed? Well, you might be surprised to hear this, but the worst song from Mega Man 8 is actually the final Wily battle theme. This This song is just as chaotic and crazy as the first Wily battle, but this one forgot to be good. If you like this song, that's totally fine, but this song is way too much and it hurts my ears. I guess they were trying to go for something super intense and they certainly succeeded, but my ears are hurting. So this song is the worst from Mega Man 8. Oh yeah, Rockman and Forte time. You already know what time it is. Every song from this game is an absolute banger. The title theme is perfect and represents what you're about to get into extremely well. Selecting between Mega Man and bass greets you with a soothing song to help aid you in your decisions. The intro stage once again contributes to the trend of Super Nintendo Mega Man games going all out in their intro stage themes because this song is amazing. Tingu Man's theme is super relaxing and a treat to listen to on top of being way better than Mega Man 8's Tingu Man theme. Astro Man's theme is in the same boat as far as being better than Mega Man 8's counterparts, and overall feel of this song is absolutely perfect for the level. Dynamo Man's theme is one of my favorites of all time, and I think it deserves way more love. Plus, it somehow manages to fit a conveyor belt themed level way better than Metal Man himself managed to do. Cold Man's theme is a beautiful melody that somehow is upbeat and relaxing at the same time, all while perfectly conveying that it is meant to be an ice level. Ground Man's theme is a banger, and somehow manages to fit the sandy underground vibes this level presents you with. Pirate Man's theme is one of the best songs in the entirety of the Super Nintendo, and once again proves that the Mega Man series is goated when it comes to water level themes. Burner Man's theme is yet another banger that fills you with just the right amount of anxiety to take on this challenging stage. Magic Man's stage takes the horrible circus vibe that Spring Man and Cloud Man couldn't do well and somehow manages to force it into a great song. The boss battle theme is the best boss battle theme in the entire series, and I will not be accepting any arguments against this claim. Unless you're subscribed, of course, then we can just respectfully disagree. The weapon get theme is funky and makes me feel like I got a weapon in real life. The stage clear theme is super satisfying to hear and encourages me to keep going when things get tough. Auto Shop is a major improvement over the literal garbage we heard in Mega Man 7. Not to mention, this shop is easily accessible for people who don't own the physical manual, even if you can't read Japanese. The music CD bass is one of my favorite ambient tracks in the entire series, and it's only a matter of time before some rapper samples this and makes Rockman and Forte finally get the respect it deserves. The weapons testing theme is also mysterious and ambient, which is perfect for the feel of this section going in the game. The first King stage is absolutely amazing and should motivate everyone to start playing out of their minds. Even if you think the stage is too hard, the music should seriously give you all the power and motivation you could ever possibly need to take down King like a true Frenchman. King Stage 2 is somehow even better with one of the most epic bass lines in the entirety of video game music history, which of course is even more epic due to Bass himself being a playable character in this game. The final Wily battle theme is the most epic and cinematic Wily battle we have ever heard in any Mega Man game and should be studied to the highest degree in universities worldwide. The credits are even amazing and a perfect ending that wraps a bow around this gift of a game from the heavens. Even the game over theme is nice to listen to and conveys emotions better than most Disney movie soundtracks could ever dream of. Every single track in this game is a certified masterpiece. Oh wait, what? I have to pick a worse song? Are you serious? Uh-oh. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. I guess the stage select theme is the worst just because it's a 3-second loop, but even that song is good, so I guess by technicality only, the stage select theme is the worst song from Rockman and Forte. Mega Man 9 takes us back to the 8-bit era of Mega Man games, but will it bring us back to the same quality of music as the 8-bit era of Mega Man? Well, let's find out. The title theme is certainly great and can hang with the NES themes for the most part, but it's not as good as Mega Man 2's theme, but almost nothing is, to be fair. The menu theme is literally the one from Mega Man 2, so that gets minus points for creativity. The stage select theme, on the other hand, is actually pretty good. It's no Mega Man 4, but it's not bad at all, so it's not going to be the worst. Moving on to the Robot Masters, though, let's start off with Concrete Man. This might not be my favorite Robot Master theme from this game, but it's certainly great to listen to and really sounds like it belongs on an NES Mega Man game. More specifically, it sounds like they were trying to go for a Mega Man 2 style, which I will not complain about anytime soon. Tornado Man's theme is probably the most iconic theme in this game just because of the trailer, but they chose this song for a reason. It is super epic and catchy, and while it doesn't necessarily feel like an air level, I don't mind at all because it is a certified banger. Splash Woman's theme is also amazing and perfect for a water level. It's calming and catchy as well, and it has the potential to be the best water theme on the NES. Unfortunately for Splash Woman, this game is not on the NES. Slugman's theme is also super catchy. It's a little bit extreme for a stage like this in my opinion, but I love it nonetheless. And yes, before you ask, this does get a spot on my iPod Touch. Jewel Man's theme is also super fitting for this level somehow, and it's even fitting for Jewel Man's look. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like Jewel Man himself helped compose this song somehow, and I like it. Hornet Man's theme is an absolute banger, and it may be my favorite Robot Master song from this game. I'm not sure how a song could possibly possibly fit the theme of Hornets, but this one manages to do it. Magma Man's theme is also a banger. It doesn't quite sound like a fire theme at first glance, but if I gave you multiple choice options between like magma, aqua, lightning, and something else, I'm sure most people would figure it out. Galaxy Man's theme is super upbeat, which isn't exactly fitting for this stage, but I don't care because it sounds awesome. It also does have a very spacey and alien feel to it, which makes up for how upbeat it is. Plus, this is one of the best songs in the game, so I'm not gonna call it the worst, because it's not. The actual boss battle theme is pretty decent too for the most part. It's not my favorite boss battle theme we've heard so far, but it might make the top 5. I don't know though, and I guess you guys won't either until I make a video on the top 10 best Mega Man boss themes. The shop theme is honestly underrated, and I love how happy and relaxing it is. It is super catchy and fitting too, since you're basically at home with your family while you shop for upgrades. Rush Jet also has its own theme in this game, which sounds like a mashup between Mega Man 2's Weapon Get theme and the shop theme from this game, and I like it a lot. It's nothing crazy, and most people probably forgot about this one, but I didn't forget. I never forget. I don't forget anything. I remember everything. Every comment ever on my channel, I remember it. Every edited comment, every typo, every misspelling, I remember. I will never forget. Moving on to the Wily Castle, though, Wily 1 sets the scales to an 11 out of 10 right out the gate, just to let everyone know that Mega Man 9 is not messing around when it comes to its soundtrack. Wily Stage 2 is a little bit less intense, but it's a lot more dramatic, which once again sets a pretty nice tone for what's going on in the game. Wily 3, on the other hand, has a pretty weird intro that I am not the biggest fan of in the entire world, but once that ends, it transitions into a pretty decent song overall. It's not as good as Wily 1 or 2 in my opinion, but it's certainly not bad or the worst song from this game. Wily Stage 4 is a little bit weaker than the other stages, but it's only because this is a refight stage, so I don't blame it. Plus, it fits super well and does its job the best it can, so leave Wily 4 alone, it's fine. The actual Wily Machine song is almost scary, which is pretty appropriate given the circumstances. It is catchy as well, which we all know is important for music in general, and since it's catchy and fits the mood, it will not be the worst. Once you defeat Dr. Wily, we of course have the ending theme, and this is pretty good for the most part, but it is far from the best ending theme we've ever heard at this point in the series. But we can't forget about Fake Man, the totally real robot master in this game. His theme is actually surprisingly good, and I'm surprised I don't see more people talk about it. The theme for the Endless stage isn't nearly as good, but it's obviously not bad. It feels like it'll go on forever, which is appropriate since it's for the Endless stage. I do think this song sounded a lot better in Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch though, if I'm being honest. But wait, that was pretty much every song, right? Which one is the worst? Well, the worst song from this game is actually Suspense. No, I don't mean I'm giving you suspense, that's literally the title of this song. This song plays in a lot of the cutscenes, and it's not awful I suppose, and I guess it is pretty fitting, but compared to every other song we just heard, can you really say this is better than any of them? Well, maybe you can, but I won't. I'm gonna say straight up, this is the worst song from Mega Man 9. Mega Man 10 might have to get thrown into the Mega Man bin if this soundtrack isn't good, but luckily I think it is for the most part, and the title theme is of course a good example. This one isn't as good as Mega Man 9's in my opinion, but it's still pretty decent. It's also not as good as Mega Man 1's obviously, but I shouldn't even have to tell you that. The menu theme is surprisingly a banger though. I'm not sure if we've heard a menu theme go this hard all video, so this song definitely deserves some props. Good job Mega Man 10's menu theme, here's some chocolate milk. The stage select theme is also really good. It's once again no Mega Man 4 stage select theme, but I'd go as far as to say it's better than Mega Man 9's at least. Moving on to the Robot Masters, let's start with Blade Man. This theme is super good and a fan favorite, but I've gotta say, it's a little overrated. That doesn't mean it's bad, obviously, but some people say that this is the best song in Mega Man 10, even though that is clearly not the case. Pump Man's song is super mellow and even better than Blade Man's theme if you're asking me. This is technically a water level, I guess, so it does make sense that this song is a banger, but I am surprised more people don't talk about this one. Though if you're subscribed, you know I put this in the background of a lot of my videos. Commando Man's theme is a little bit extreme and noisy, but somehow that makes it fit the stage even more. I like this one a lot, even if Commando Man's stage can be a bit frustrating. Chill Man's theme, on the other hand, is an absolute masterpiece. Mega Man is known for having great ice level songs, and luckily this game continues that trend. Obviously it fits the level, and listening to this song while watching this pretty rainbow ice is an experience that every Mega Man fan deserves, so go play Mega Man 10 if you haven't for some reason. Sheep Man's theme is not my favorite, but I still like it a ton, plus it is catchy. I will say it's ironic that Sheep Man's theme isn't the best in the game, while Sheep Wave is a literal music producer who only knows how to make amazing masterpieces, but if you don't believe me, you should follow Sheep Wave on Twitch. Strike Man's theme is pretty decent, and I'd say it lands around the middle-ish when compared to the other songs in this game, or at least that's my ballpark estimate. This song also sounds like it belongs on a baseball field somehow, which is legitimately impressive. I know at this point I shouldn't be surprised when Capcom makes a song fit an extremely unique level theme, but I am every time, which is why I love Mega Man so much. Nitro Nitro Man's theme is super rad and probably my favorite Robot Master theme in the entire game. It has no reason to go as hard as it does, but I love it. It even fits the whole idea of riding on top of these moving train things, and since this song is so fast-paced, this is a straight up 10 out of 10 song. Solar Man's theme may not be as good as Nitro Man's theme, but it is certainly still a banger. This is another one that you could recognize as a fire level theme song even if you haven't played Mega Man, which is always nice. The boss battle theme is also a lot better than it was in Mega Man 9 in my opinion, but it's of course no Rockman and Forte, but nothing is, so let's not make unfair comparisons, guys. The shop theme is also pretty good, but I think the one from Mega Man 9 is a bit better for the most part. Proto Man's shop and Bass's shop are good too, but they aren't the craziest songs in the world. Roll's theme is also really good and surprisingly emotional, which is appropriate since she practically sacrificed her life for the sake of Mega Man, but you guys probably don't pay attention to the story, so let's just move on. Wily 1 is definitely a banger. I'd say this one is even better than the ones we got from Mega Man 9, but it is hard to say. What isn't hard to say though is that this is one of the best songs in all of Mega Man, which means it is certainly not going to be the worst. Wily 2 on the other hand is a little bit too extreme for my liking, especially with the intro, but it's still a masterpiece fit to be a Wily Castle theme. Wily 3 tones things down a bit, but it sounds better overall. It even kind of is emotional, which is appropriate considering the whole roll thing we just talked about a second ago. Wily 4 reminds me of Wily 4 from Mega Man 2, which obviously I am not a huge fan of, but I think this one is at least a little bit better. Plus, it's not a bad song at all, so it's not going to be the worst. Wily 5 is actually one of my favorite Wily themes of all time, and I think it is super underrated. You can tell just by listening that you're in space, but even if this wasn't a space level, I would still enjoy it just for being good. The Wily Machine theme is also a banger. It's one of the best Wily Machine themes we've ever had in the entire series, but I wouldn't call it the absolute best. The Wily Capsule theme is honestly a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's still pretty good and fits what's going on perfectly, so it's not the worst either. The ending theme to this game is also pretty good, but it's probably smack down in the middle as far as Mega Man ending themes go, so it's not the worst. The Endless Stage theme is pretty decent, but it does sound significantly worse than most of the other level themes in this game. It's not at all bad though, so I'm not going to call it the worst. Inker's theme is super extreme, but I actually like it. I will not elaborate further. Punk's theme is also super cool and upbeat, but it's not my favorite. I think I do like it more than Inker's theme for the most part though. Belay's theme on the other hand is definitely the best of the special stages, meaning there is no way this one could possibly be the worst either, unless I'm lying. But I'm not, guys, don't worry, I would never do that. I would never lie to you guys. The actual worst song from this game has weirdly got to be the challenge theme. Like I said earlier, I generally try to avoid picking menu themes just because it's not fair, but I actively do not enjoy listening to this theme, which isn't fair to my ears. So just to bring justice to my ears, I'm calling the challenge theme the worst song from Mega Man 10. Mega Man 11 is one of my favorite Mega Man games contrary to popular belief, and in the last video I said this soundtrack was weaker than the rest, which I think a lot of people misunderstood. I still enjoy this soundtrack a ton, and I do not think it is bad at all. It just feels a bit out of place next to the rest of Mega Man soundtracks, but I'll let you guys be the judge. The title theme is one of the exceptions to this, and I like it a lot. It's nothing super special, but it's certainly good, and it does feel like a Mega Man song at the very least. The menu theme is also fairly decent, but I feel like it's a little bit too upbeat for a menu theme. That's obviously a nitpick, and I still like this song for the most parts, but I can't lie to you guys, so I gotta say it does feel a bit weird. The stage select theme is also fairly decent and a lot better than some of the other stage select themes we've had in the series, but this style of it feels a bit off to me. Again, that's not a bad thing, but I can't help but point it out. Moving on to the Robot Masters though, let's start with Block Man. This song is super mellow and fits the level fairly well since I think most people were meant to go here first. It's not my favorite, but it is pretty decent for the most part, and it's not bad at all. Bounce Man's theme on the other hand is just weird. To be fair, it is just because it's trying to fit the stage theme, which it does do very well, but from a musical perspective, I do not like this one. Blast Man's stage is pretty good, but it's also fairly intense. It also feels like a later Wily stage or something without being as iconic, but I still do like this one for the most part. Acid Man's theme feels like it belongs in a cutscene and not a level. It's not bad, of course, and I do enjoy it, but it just feels weird. Fuse Man's theme, though, we all know is a certified banger. This is the song that was used in the trailer for the game, and I'm certain Capcom picked this one because they know it was by far the best song in Mega Man 11. I think every song in Mega Man 11 should have gone for a similar feel to this because it genuinely feels like it belongs in a Mega Man game, and I enjoy every bit of it. Impact Man stage is pretty much the exact opposite. This one isn't bad, of course, but outside of the sound font, it doesn't at all feel like a Mega Man song to me. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, so if you love this song, please don't feel bad, but I'm just not vibing with it. Torch Man's theme is way too nerve-wracking in my opinion, and it doesn't at all feel like a fire theme. It's still good for sure, and I do enjoy it, I guess, but once once again, the vibes are just off for what it's supposed to be. Tundra Man's theme, on the other hand, does at least feel like a ice level, which is a great start. It's one of the best songs in this game, but if we compared this to other Mega Man ice themes, I don't think Tundra Man would fare very well in comparison, sadly. Though this one is pretty good, and I wish the whole game sounded as good as this. The boss battle theme surprisingly is pretty decent, and it feels like Mega Man through and through. I would say maybe it's a little bit too dramatic just for a regular boss battle theme, but we're once again getting into hair-splitting territory. Moving on to the the Gear Fortress, we already all know this is a pretty decent song, so I won't stay on this one for too long, but I will say this should be the bare minimum when it comes to Mega Man music. The Wily Castle boss theme is at least better than the regular boss battle theme, but it honestly just makes me wish this was the regular boss battle theme. The Wily Machine theme is pretty good for the most part, and I definitely say it's one of the better songs from this game, but it is far from my favorite Wily Machine theme ever. The second Wily Machine theme is a lot more dramatic and very fitting, especially since, as far as we know, this is the last Wily Machine battle of all time. Being honest though, I'm still not the biggest fan of this, but I might be being a bit too harsh at this point, so I'll calm down. I do enjoy this soundtrack relative to other games, but when compared to Mega Man's prestigious reputation for amazing music, this game's soundtrack really rubs my eardrums the wrong way, so I hope you guys don't get the wrong idea. Anyway, I'm tired of listening to Mega Man 11's music, so it's time to let everyone know that the worst song from this game is the Weapon Get theme. Before everyone gets angry, let me explain. This song is not all that bad by itself, and neither is any song from this game really, but the feel of it is just weird and doesn't make any sense. We have heard a lot of Weapon Get themes from Mega Man in this video, and this one not only feels the least like a Weapon Get theme, but it also feels uninspired. Again, I don't know music theory, so I don't know how to describe what I mean, but I think this song just represents how I feel about Mega Man's 11 soundtrack as a whole. It's certainly not bad, and I do not hate it, but it feels weird, and this song specifically is mediocre at best, which is not a phrase that should ever be said about any aspect of Mega Man, especially the soundtrack. Again, I hope I'm not being too harsh because I love Mega Man 11 and I do not hate its soundtrack, but overall it was a disappointment if I'm being honest. So while the Weapon Get theme is the worst song from this game, it's mostly for symbolic reasons. Dr. Wily's stage select theme might be a bit worse, but whatever. I think you guys understand how I feel about this game by now. At least I hope. Good grief. Those were the worst songs from every Mega Man game, 1 through 11. As always, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'm really sorry if I called any of your favorite Mega Man songs the worst Mega Man song from that game. And of course, by that I mean I'm really sorry that your taste in Mega Man music is so terrible.